Welcome to MAFS Madness on So Many Receipts. I'm Fleur Michelle.
And I'm Shelley Seddon. We're journalists, reality show addicts, and obsessed with Married at First Sight.
Bringing you all the tea from MAFS 2026. Let's get stuck in.
We've been dying to know what the hell happened between golden couple David and Alissa, and now the mystery's finally been solved.
Alissa is a pain in the neck after all. Stan dropped some truly juicy unseen footage, which explains a lot. But why on earth wasn't any of this on the main MAFS show?
It was gold. Also, was Beck onto something all along when she said Alissa was unlikable?
Well, aside from the vile text language, has Beck been vindicated?
They showed a clip of bubbly Alissa having a meltdown at the retreat over not having bedroom blinds and taking it out on David. How is she a Christian wannabe influencer? She has a filthy mouth.
And David was so calm the entire time. He is a saint.
We also saw Alissa going on about David's finances and lifestyle. She was totally patronizing. Does she want to see his tax return and pay stubs from his work?
And he's only 31. Is he already supposed to own his own house, or is that just how they roll in Adelaide?
I get that you need to make sure you both want the same lifestyle and can fund it, but there has to be a better way to communicate.
Plus, all the pressure Alissa and her mum dumped on David at the homestay about her ticking biological clock. I'm surprised he didn't do a runner in the night.
And even after all of this, David still said on Stan he's hoping that they might work things out.
But we already know she's already supposedly moved on with Adelaide Ninja Warrior star Nathan Ryles.
Yes.
Talk about David sticking to producers' orders.
David, run far, far away from these crazy people. You have dodged a bullet. At least we have a little bit more context now, finally, because we both thought the MAFS commitment ceremony last Sunday was a joke. We were wondering, when are they going to show the cracks in David and Alyssa's relationship? The show is almost over.
Well, they said nothing on the couch last Sunday, right? It was all butterflies and rainbows as usual for like the last 2 months. But then the spoiler came out that they have split. That was everywhere. Alissa is rumored to have moved on with this reality guy, Nathan Ryles.
Yeah, and so apparently there were issues all along, but none of it made the edit because it suited the nice drama-free couple narrative against the mean girls.
Yeah, so who is this Nathan guy? Well, he's a personal trainer with a young son, a cancer survivor who likes to give back to charity and is pretty active on socials, which I'm sure Alissa likes, right?
She loves her socials.
Her whole life's a social media clip. So Nathan made the finals of Ninja Warrior for 3 years running until the show got axed a few years ago. And he was well known to fans of that show. I guess you would call him an Adelaide personality. Did I have many?
Yes. I don't think so.
That probably suits her vibe, being, a big fish in a small pond. I never knew how it was going to work with David anyway, because he lives in Brisbane. Like, I'm just not a fan of them pairing people from interstate. Like, I know there's often not your perfect match or your unperfect match in the same state, but I always thought that was a big reason why Jeff and Ree probably did go on to be a real couple, because after the show, they could just see each other now and then and take it at their own pace like a normal couple. How are you supposed to do that when you both need a plane ride to get there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, last year everyone was from Perth. This year everyone's from Adelaide. We're supposed to believe that Danny wants to move to Adelaide. He's a real estate guy, and David wants to move to Adelaide. Like, everyone's in Adelaide.
Yeah, and Beck, I don't think would move to Melbourne, even though she said she would, because she's Queen Bee in Adelaide. She wouldn't be the Queen Bee in Melbourne, so that was never gonna work.
No, she said, her family, she has a big house, her dog,
Which she kept telling us repeatedly only had a mortgage of $97,000 left on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Adelaide real estate market and the market anywhere else, it's kind of like apples and oranges. Like, are we supposed to be impressed by this? I thought it was so braggy how she kept saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Such a flex. She has a big mansion in Adelaide, whatever. But I did think it was weird that David and Alissa got barely any airtime on the regular show. And when we saw them on the Stan show last week, it was so icy. And Alissa did say, I'm so lucky to have David, but they didn't even look at each other, and it was so awkward.
Well, she was more excited to see Joel, and she was faced towards Joel almost the whole time.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at it, there was actually a gap between her and David on the couch. I mean, couples should not be allowed to do interviews on this Stan show together. Like, memo to producers for next year. It's too hard for them to pretend that they are still together 6 months later. And it just exposes all these cracks, which then we pick apart.
Well, all these people who say these are paid actors, these are, professional actors on the show. They're not. They can't fake it.
No.
It exposes the cracks.
They need some acting, amateur acting training. There are now rumors that Alyssa took issue with some of David's rap lyrics, and there was this unseen intimacy week incident that supposedly caused a rift, which we still haven't seen. What is that all about? There were lots of cracks.
So this intimacy week incident, I am hoping that this is more unseen footage. I'm dying to know what an intimacy week, thing is. But
I know. I'm kind of thinking all sorts of things and like not daring to say them out loud. Like, show us the footage.
yeah, exactly. So all we've really seen on the MAFS main show up until now is Alyssa saying that David doesn't match her high vibe energy.
Yeah, which he clearly doesn't. It's sort of a shame because at their best, I actually did really like them together. And I thought, oh, they actually work despite that whole get down on bended knee weirdness at the beginning. But,
Mm.
I guess all we ever saw was their best. There was more
Yeah,
to it.
exactly.
Oh, well. What happened to the love affair between one of MAF's strongest couples, Chris and Gia? Chris was asked about his close relationship with Gia on the stand couch, and he was cold.
This is the one MAFS breakup I didn't see coming.
I was shocked. I thought they were still besties.
I know.
Gia's still saying on Chris's posts how much she loves him, and he responds sometimes with a love heart. But I noticed lately he's not responding as much. She's been demoted.
Oh God. Well, so last week the host said Gia was finally going to be on the show this week, but only if she could sit with Chris. But he said he didn't want
Mm.
that burn. He's got his dad hat on. He's on this apology tour like back. I think seeing how he was portrayed has been a wake-up call, and he's doing damage control.
So his vibe about their current relationship was strange.
It was
Like,
so strange.
I would call it a friendship. I'm not saying I don't like her. Yikes.
More word salad. He's obviously distancing himself from Gia.
Mm.
He did seem calmer and not defensive. I felt he was owning it and genuinely sorry for his behavior.
Well, he's been slammed on social media, but to his credit, he's been quite remorseful, agreeing he wasn't at his best, he's learning, etc. But what birthday drama is he talking about?
I am dying to know.
Mm.
The drama was so bad, it seems he broke up with her. It must have been really toxic for Chris, former drama queen, to say he needed to step away.
So at the party, Chris said Gia was his safe space, and Juliet didn't want to go because Beck was invited. But what happened with Chris?
I know. I wonder if Gia will go after Chris now that he's basically publicly dumped her, just like she went after Scott.
Mm.